Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tuplex. Remember how I've said a couple times that I wish I had made bigger trains? Well, guess what I did? This is the smelting area. I basically moved everything to the left to allow for 3 8 trains instead of the 1 4s that I have. Right now I only have one running, and as you can see it's not empty yet, which is why it's still there. Reason being that we have, I guess we have a full load of copper to pick up. Yeah. Copper plate, that is. And that is because copper plates are full over here. Circuits are full. Why are my circuits full? This is full also. I guess we're just not using very many circuits. That's kind of strange. I'm researching logistic slots, which ought to be using a pretty good amount of science. Yeah, we are using some circuits, but I guess we're probably making enough here in the base to not have to pull too many from here. So anyway, we're kind of backed up, which is why we don't see anything being produced here. But in any case, we do have a nice big train. So far I'm only doing the copper. But what I intend to do next is to adjust the smelting setup so that it is basically, oh, and this is not good. Okay, yeah, I need to remove this. Okay, that's better. I don't know why they didn't just take my fuel out, to be honest. Okay. Well, in any case, I'm just getting started here, so I'll need to make some adjustments. But one of the things I like to do is adjust the position of the smelting so that it is basically the same width as all these requester chests or passive provider chests, so that we don't get the issue that I've been seeing here where these chests towards the outside empty out faster than the ones in the middle, just because there are more requests coming from, you know, from here to the left and from here to the right than are just coming directly across. So the bots are going to tend to go to the closest chest to get what they need. So if we have this occupy the same space, or at least the same width, then it's going to work a little better. So I'm going to need to restructure a lot of this to get it to work. And my thinking right now is that as I build new outposts, I will start constructing them to do 3 8 trains. Now this one goes to copper load 4. So obviously I had to make some adjustments at the loading station as well. And I'll show you that here in a minute. I also had to rebuild the stacker to make the stacker longer to take the larger train. But I'll show you the loading station, or the mining outpost. This train does go faster. You know, we've got 50% more engine, I guess, than we did before. So we've got 3 engines for 8 cars rather than 1 engine for 4 cars. Alright, so you can see here, I changed this station and this stacker as well to accommodate the extra length. And then I added a lot more miners as well. And so far it's working pretty well. So for that top copper unloading station in the smelting area, I only have this one train. You know, theoretically this one train can replace 2 of the smaller ones. And probably even more than 2. Just because it moves faster as well. So what I did for now is I renamed this station. We're calling it Copper Unload 8 to differentiate it from just plain old Copper Unload. Alright, so that's going to sit there for a while until we get more demand for circuits. And then I will do the same thing for this Copper Unload. And then I'll just remove all of these 1-4 trains and replace them with 1-3-8. And as you can see, I've got several waiting here. All right, so why don't we do that now, as a matter of fact. So like we did up there, I will remove those inserters. I'll leave the chests there for now until they can empty out. And then I'll blueprint this whole thing there. And we'll plop it down. Is that the right spot? Looks like it. Actually, this has circuit connections, and I really don't need those anymore. But it doesn't look like I can remove those. Actually, I don't need that. All right. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put the lights down. And then for iron, you know, we could either convert the iron as well, or we could just leave it like this, you know, until we need to make a new iron outpost. I don't use so much iron, so I might just leave it. All right, and then I need to refuel those engines. I wonder if I can pick this up. There we go. All right. Where is that going to actually? Oh, no. I don't want that to happen. That's the only storage I have. Okay. Let's see. What I can do is I can put a few storage chests here, And then I'll just mark these for deletion and let the bots move the ore. So the construction bots are giving it to me, and then the logistics bots are taking it away and putting it down in that same chest. And I don't really want it there. I'll turn those into active providers. I had these chests there originally just to take junk out of the network here. Okay, and those are full, so let's get some more. And the bots will take the ore from those storage chests before they're going to take them from the provider chests from the trains, since they prioritize that. Okay, good. So that's amazing. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of copper ore. Right. Let's get this out of there. And then I'm going to remove that train. Okay. Now these trains, what am I going to do with them? I need to empty those. But I want those to stop running once they get emptied. As soon as I remove this car, one's going to come up here. Let me try something. No, I can't do that. I didn't leave myself the room. Okay. I have an idea. Okay, is that long enough for 4 trains? Let's see. Or for 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is. Okay, so here's what I'll do. Actually, let's make this a little bit longer first. Basically, I'm just going to create a parking area for those 3 trains. And I'm going to change it so that they just go empty, probably at my main base. And then they can come back here. Alright, so we'll just call this... And we'll call this delete. Alright, so that's where trains go to die. Is that long enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's just Just long enough. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll change that to manual. Alright, so instead of going to copper ore 3 and then smelting copper unload, I'm going to tell these to go to copper ore unload, which is our main base, until empty, and then go to delete until an unspecified circuit condition. And we'll program those to do the same thing. Alright, so those should go unload at the main base, and then they'll come up here and park themselves and wait. At least that is my expectation. Go. Let me watch just to make sure that that's what they're going to do. Okay, there's copper unload. I'll just send him on. Yeah, okay, so this is one of the delete trains. But it's going to take a while to get that unloaded because I'm just not using that much copper right now. Okay, good. So we're getting rid of those trains. So we can set up a new one here. And yeah, this one I'm going to send to the same station as this one. I'm going to give it the same route as the one above. It'll go to copper ore. It'll go to copper load 4. Okay, so I'll copy and paste. All right, and then I need to rename this station to copper unload 8. All right, good. And then we need to give it 8 wagons. Okay. So now we're doing 8 wagons of copper. Now the other thing that I am planning to do, just for the purposes of volume, is I think that I should have one smelting area for copper and then have another separate one for iron. So what I'm planning to do now is convert this whole thing to only copper. Not yet, but sometime in the not too distant future, we'll convert this completely to copper. And then I'm thinking that we can landfill over here and build the one for iron. Well, we probably don't want it directly opposite because we'll have a funny junction there, but you know, maybe we'll do iron like over here somewhere. And for the landfill, I did set up a little thing over here to make landfill. So I've got almost 4,000 pieces of landfill now. What I should have done was belt this over next to the rail. But actually maybe I can bring some rail down here and make this work somehow. I don't know. I may have trouble emptying that out, but I didn't think about that when I set this up. I was just thinking, let's just make some landfill quick and dirty. Okay, so that being said, let us make the adjustment to the smelting area here that I mentioned. All right, so I'm going to blueprint this minus the turrets. Everything else, I believe, is as we want it. All right, that's making copper. So I'd like the requester chests to basically line up with the end of the station. So it's going to be something like this. But things are not lining up quite right, and it's because of that power pole right there. So let's get rid of that. And then I think this will be more tileable. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that looks pretty good there. Could actually be over one more, but I think I actually have to move it over two. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then we need more roboports, of course. All right. Yeah, and like I said, they're emptying out the storage chest first, which is good. I want those to get emptied out, and then I'll pick most of them up. All right, looks like I need some power over here as well. And I'll give these the same spacing just to keep that consistent. There we go. Speaking of power, yeah, we're still doing fine. Okay, and then I want to remove like from here and to the right. So to do that, I'm going to just stop requesting more copper on these so that these can empty out. Eventually. Right, so basically the smelting is going to be, you know, from here to there. And I think that's actually going to give me more. Let me just check something real quick. I think that's going to give me more furnaces. Okay, see there I have 18 furnaces. With this, I will have 20. All right, so it'll give me a few more furnaces. Okay, now this train I think I can set to automatic now. This is ready to go. Yeah, let me make sure that I don't have any more trains out there that are looking for smelting copper unload. Copper unload 8, copper unload 8. Yeah, okay. So I think that's all of the trains that I needed to get rid of. Okay, so there's 2 of them, and then we just need to wait for the third one to finish what it's doing and come back. Okay. So I'll pick up the stone and the wood. Oh, and they're just going to end up putting it back in these chests, aren't they? Yeah. All right. So once that's empty, I'll put the storage chest back down here, which is what I wanted. And then if and when they need to be emptied, I can just dump them into my car on my construction train. Okay. All right, so these still have a lot of plate, but we can pick up the furnaces at least. Still a little bit of ore there, but I'll just go ahead and grab that. Alright, and then that means that these modules can be removed. We can take these requester chests. Somehow I got some extra storage chests in there. Huh. I'm not sure where those came from. Obviously a problem in my blueprint, because they're down here too. And I suspect there's more down here. Yep. That's weird. Must have gotten shifted slightly. Okay. Yeah, let me just make these active providers. So we'll get rid of all that plate, and then I can clear that out. Yeah, that's getting to be a mess. Let me put some more storage chests up here. Okay, and then these roboports can go as well. Actually, I'm surprised that... What is going on? Oh, okay. Yeah, they were all going down there to verify that it was full. Okay, now they're unloading in the other chests. That's kind of a mess, and it's going to take a while for those chests to empty out. Okay, so let me start... We'll start clearing these. I'm just gonna clear the requests from those chests so that they'll start emptying themselves out. And then once they're all empty, then we'll come over and do the same thing for those that we did here. And I should do the same down here as well. Okay, and now I can clear that. Okay. And yeah, I'll pick up the modules too. I mean, some of those furnaces are going to slow down a bit, but that's okay. We don't really need the speed right at this moment. Okay, so this is a good sign because we can see that the what do you call them? The chests closest to these have emptied out, whereas the ones that are, you know, closer to the middle still have some stuff in them. So that's good. I think that's going to result in better material flow. All right. Yeah, so most of those requesters are empty now. They'll empty out eventually. Okay, so this will be a work in progress. I've got all these storage chests are going to need to empty out too, so we'll just wait for those to slowly starve themselves. And then we'll do the same thing down here. So where do we have... All right. Yeah, so first requester chest is right about where I'm standing. So everything to the right of that, we want to start to clear out. So I'll go ahead and reset those. All right, so right here. Okay. And we'll pick up these extra provider chests. All right, and I think we're good as far as that goes. All right, now eventually the loading and unloading of plates should probably undergo a similar transformation, which means I would need to rework these stations as well. I think I have enough room to do that. I might not. If I don't, I'll just tear up this whole thing. I don't mind doing that. What are you trying to do? Got a bottleneck here, and I think that's because the destination changed. There we go. I think it probably switched stations when it was traveling. I'm not quite sure what to do about that to fix it, to be honest. I guess if it happens again, I'll have to try to think of some other solution. I don't want that to slow things down for us. Okay. Yeah, and these are set to wait here until they're empty. Yeah, this wagon is still totally full. They haven't pulled any from there yet, for whatever reason. Okay, it looks like our storage chests are just about empty, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and... go ahead and remove those. Okay, and those are full of plate, but those will empty out eventually. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If we take a look at our to-do list, right, offsite smelting we're still working on. The rocket base, we need to get started soon. I think what I'm going to do next is a perimeter wall. I'd like to avoid the attacks that I get all over the place by trying to wall in most of the base. So we'll have to figure out where to put those walls, but you know, for example, this would be a good place for a wall right there. You know, we'll look for some natural bottlenecks. You know, we could wall in perhaps here and then clear all the bases from inside. You know, maybe another wall there and there. So that's going to be a big project, obviously, but that'll allow us to get rid of all the turrets that I've got scattered everywhere throughout the base, and get rid of some of the distractions we have with the constant biter attacks that we get in various locations. So I think we'll work on that in the next episode, and then we'll get started on the rocket base. I'd like to get at least one rocket launched, if not more. Once we get the first rocket launched, that's going to give us some rocket science, so we can do some additional research. And then, you know, at that point, I'll be asking you guys for feedback as to whether you think we should continue working on this base, you know, and going towards so many science per minute, which in this case would be 500 a minute, you know, to match up with the rocket science. Or if you think we should call it a series and maybe start working on a new one. I'm open to either one. To be honest, I wouldn't mind working on a base with standard recipes instead of expensive recipes. But anyway, we'll launch a few rockets first and see how things look, and then decide what to do from there. So, thanks again for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.